thinking about starting this series for a while, and in this series, I'd like to give you 3-minute tips that will help you in the classroom this week that you can implement and put into practice on Monday, and you can get started and seeing an improvement with your classroom management and other aspects of your classroom. Just a little background, I'm a third grade teacher at a Title I school, and I would say that my specialty with teaching include classroom management and working with ESL and ELL learners. All right, let's jump into this first tip, which is going to be the first part of this series, and this is going to help you with your classroom management because we are focusing on student engagement. Now, this is why student engagement is so important. Without student engagement, students often get bored, they might have more behavior issues, and they are acting out because they feel like they have nothing to do and they aren't interested in the topic at hand. Now, we can't force all of our students to be interested at all times, but what we can do is not ask them questions, but rather tell them what we want them to do and have them get excited about learning. I am a huge proponent and advocate for gamifying so many lessons and materials, and there are a lot of ways that I do this, but that tip is for another video. In this one, this is a totally free way that you can just have your students increase in their engagement. And like I mentioned, you're not going to ask them questions because I find that when you ask them questions like, what is 7 times 4? They get really lost and you start to notice that the same few students are answering over and over and over, and you want all of your students to be engaged and answering the question. Here are the ways that work in my classroom. They might not work in yours, but I'm giving you a variety of options. That way you can try them out and see which one works best with your class. So instead of just raising your hand to answer the question, because like I said, you're going to notice a lot of the same students doing this over and over, what you're going to do is have them put their hand on their head when they have the answer. And then you'll tell them, okay, when I snap or clap my fingers, you are going to say the answer. So this is what it looks like in the classroom. I might say, solve for the answer of 7 times 4. And then I'll tell them, put your hand on your head when you have the answer. And when I see enough hands on heads, I will then say, all right, you're going to tell me the answer when I snap or clap my fingers. 7 times 4 equals, and you notice in all of this, I gave them commands rather than asking them to solve the problem. This unknowingly gets students more excited. And I don't know like the science behind it, but it's having them do something that is out of the ordinary. And the key is to switch this up a lot. So instead of having them put their hand on their heads, you might ask them next time to touch their nose or touch their ear or do something really funny. They can stand like a scarecrow for Halloween, or for Christmas, they can make reindeer antlers. And I like to switch it up with the season because it makes it very engaging and fun. Another great way to get students talking and engaged is to do the turn and talk method. So this looks like having your students turn to each other and answer the question or have a discussion. This does not work in all classrooms though, because some students, once they start talking, they won't stop talking, or they get off topic with what they are talking about. So in this case, I might have them turn and talk, but I'll set a 30-second timer. And when that timer goes off, they know they need to be back at a 0 and listening. Incorporating movement is always a really great way. So you might have them just show with their hands the answer, or they can do the number of jumping jacks to answer the question. If there's 2 choices, instead of doing a thumbs up, thumbs down, give them 2 choices of an action that they can do, like push-ups and jumping jacks, or you can have them stand like a certain character, like stand like Superman if you think it's this answer, or give me a peace sign if you think it's this answer. And it gets them thinking. You want to change it up a lot, and again, it's going to help with that engagement and get more students to participate. And last but not least for this tip, you can have students say things in a different way. So you could have them speak in a robot voice, you can have them whisper, you could have them shout, although I don't always recommend shouting because they get really excited, but it might work for you in your classroom. I hope that these tips were helpful. If you have an idea that what you would like to see for the 3-minute tips in this series, and ask your burning questions below in the comments and you might see it in a future video. Please subscribe for some more A+ advice, and I'll see you soon in the next video.